Video 28. This has all taken a while, a bit longer than I expected. Hat's back on because we're at the downhill stage of the year, towards autumn now. You may have wondered where the plane went. It went down to Old Sarum so that I could have some of the work inspected. It was all good. Fiona only picked up one thing that she didn't like, and that was the ferrules that are on the throttle cables where they join to the lever on the rear bulkhead. Wasn't too keen on those, so I've got some new ones that I'm going to need to fit. But other than that, they want to know what I've been playing at, and said, come on, get on with the wiring so we can get on and fly it. So that's what I need to start doing. So here's a quick look at what I have been doing whilst I haven't been in the workshop. I've been doing some stuff on the laptop. This is the wiring diagram I've developed. It starts at the 582 at the bottom. It feeds up on the left hand side with a couple of heavy gauge cables that go to a master switch. It's got a voltmeter attached on there. There's a 5-volt USB outlet, the radio power outlet. There's a positive buzz bar on the left hand side, the earth buzz bar at the top there, and then all the feeds through to the tacho, the water temp, the dual EGT and the dual fuel gauge. Push button start through the two isolator switches, down past the slipper tank, the main tank, regulator on the right, the EGT senders there in the middle, and then back round to the 582. So I'm hoping it's all correct. We'll find out when we connect the battery. Also, I've knocked up a spreadsheet of all of the parts that I've used and where I've got them from. So if all this works out, if you want a diagram and a parts list, just drop me a line. And this is how all that looks in the flesh. So these are all the items that I've ordered from the list, various sizes and lengths of cable in different colours and patterns. We've got some waterproof connections, connectors which I intend to use between the rear of the loom, joining them to the engine in bits and pieces so the engine can be disconnected fairly easily for servicing. I've got a couple of buzz bars that I intend to put under the nose cone for my live and neutrals. A couple of covers for those. These are my fuse holders. What else have we got here? There's a miniature circuit breaker. This is so that I could comply with the LAA regulations and being able to disconnect the battery and the wiring in the event of an emergency, so that I can use a lithium battery instead of lead acid if I want to lose a few more pounds off the weight of the aircraft. I've got two types of flashing LED. One that I'm going to use, the red one, to let me know that the starter motor's engaged, and a blue one I'm going to use just to highlight that the oil tank may be low, the two-stroke oil tank. Got a voltmeter that I'm fitting into the dash. I've got a couple of ignition kill switches. I only had one before, but with the new 582 it's got to have two on there. And I've got a funky little start button, so I'm not going to put an ignition switch on the aircraft. I'm just going to have a start button to get things moving. And then these are all my crimp connections which go on the buzz bars and various spade connectors. None of these are insulated because I'm going to crimp and then solder each of the connections on and then cover them with heat shrink afterwards. So trying to minimise any loose connections. So this is just a bit of alley plate that I fashioned up to put my ignition switches in. So that's all good stuff, shaping up. Another job that I am working on is flatten all the panel back, get all the little lumps and bumps and imperfections out. And whilst I'm at it, what I've done is I've bonded these rib nuts into place. So there's an example of what they are. Because trying to reach around the back to fiddle the tiny little screws on the back of my fixing screws, I didn't think was a very sensible thing to do. I thought if I bond these in place, I can then just screw my dials in and out as and when I need to, and it allows for easier access to the back of the panel should I need to get those clocks on and off. So all the square ones that have got them on there have had a captive rib nut put in place, and they all seem to work quite well. So my next plan is where to put the buzz bars, and I'm thinking they may go up on the inside of the nose cone up here. So I'm just going to see how all that looks. So I've reversed my deliberate mistake from earlier on, and I've switched my ignition switches around the other way. What I've done also, you may see, I've fixed a couple of buzz bars up underneath the nose cone, so I can terminate all my lives and neutrals, and up around the inside of the nose cone to support the cables, because I don't really want to be strapping them up with stick-on cable ties and things like that. I've fixed a couple of pieces of conduit up in there as well, which are all bonded on, so they'll allow me to route cables from all of this array of switches and fuses up around the top of the nose cone. I'll drop down for the tacho feeds, and then I can route it round to where all these dials are on this side, so it should keep it all nicely tucked up out of the way and nice and secure. So I've got one section of the loom coming down this side of the monocoque, and the heavy cables from the battery coming down on this side to terminate on the buzz bars, and then the electrics will all spread out from there. Just noticed earlier on that during the removal, my dual ETGT gauge has got damaged, so I've got to find a replacement one of those, because I think trying to solder a cable back onto this snap lug is going to be a bit of a job. So if anybody's got a Westac dual EGT gauge that they might have for sale, let me know, and then I'll get this one replaced. So I just need to crack on and get on with this spraying, and then start pulling some wiring in.